So welcome again to Sculpt Quest with you seated is Marvin Tabi Ashu. I am always very pleased to be here at your service. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend already. Summer is almost going to an end. I hope you had the best of it until next year again. So those who are just tuning in for the very first time, son and daughters of Mother Earth, wherever you are, please feel free to tag along. This is a home for you. It is an open space that we talk about our pains, our gains, our minors and surpluses, our experiences that are needed by our younger generations to help navigate through life. You've gone through a lot, you've acquired a lot of experiences in life. So you business tycoon, engineer, doctor, you should talk about those things so that those younger ones who are aspired to become a figure like you can learn from your experiences. They can gain knowledge. That's transfer of knowledge to the younger generation. This is just the reason why we created this space to talk about some of these things and to define certain subjects that people, always misinterpret or find it hard to decode or dissect, if I may say. So we've talked about a lot. You can go back and check on some of our past videos. In it we had a wealth of information, and I hope it makes sense to you. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about control is something that we hear every day in relationships, but again is controlling a situation, is control actually a bad thing? In the business sphere, no, because you as a business owner, you have that responsibility to oversee the activities of every employee. You have that responsibility to check accounting and do your balancing. You have to control a process to make sure that the outcome is as expected. So yes, in this aspect, control is not a bad thing. But in a relationship, it is mystified. It has a lot of negativity that comes with it. But in the aspect or in a space of a relationship, talking about control, we can't talk only about control without talking about accountability. Accountability has to do with holding somebody responsible for their action. Okay, controlling as per se, the definition would be determine the behavior or supervise the running of. So everything that you do should be in accordance to achieve a desired outcome, right? That is a simple definition of control. While accountability will mean the fact or condition of being accountable, responsibility. So we get it. So the lack of accountability may corrode public respect for your family or your partner. Take this another example. If you are somebody that drinks and misbehaves in public, that has an adverse effect on your personality and the person sitting right next to you as wife or partner or son or daughter or any relative. So that is where accountability come into play in a relationship. Now, we should also keep in mind that there are people who always seek for accountability, but the other person always sends it to be controlling. And this is why this subject is being presented to us today, so that we can at least look at life or look at things from different angles. So if I am asking you to be accountable, it doesn't necessitate me asking you to be or demanding or controlling you. Take example again. My woman and I, right, are together. I made the rule, I proposed the rule of no phones in bed. So sometimes myself, I default on that, but she should politely tell me, hey, babe, no phones in bed. I have to drop it off. It doesn't mean she's controlling. She's holding me accountable. I should be responsible to that decision. I should respect that because at that moment, I am abusing something that we both agreed to be a guide, to be the rules on how things are done. So we should be careful at this point not to misinterpret certain things. So controlling in a relationship has a lot of negativity. And I think this is the problem that we have as Africans in the diaspora. We always talk about this person being controlling, demanding for too much, doing this and doing that. Yes, we could be right because we do not know the state of things in your relationship, brother, sister. Now, this is open. I'm not talking about women being controlling or men being controlling because it is about us. It is about two persons. But if you are that person that feel victimized, please, you should look at some of these points because I always want to give points for you to look out for, to be able to know or understand or to point out a controlling partner, a controlling friend, a controlling brother, because you also have friends, brother that are way too controlling, they are too dictative, which is not good. You limit the other person from learning, enjoying the learning process to life. You know, we all have to learn from our mistakes. We all have to fail and learn from that incident. But if you deprive me of that, just you trying to be protective, I myself destruct in your absence. So it is okay for somebody to fail. It is okay for somebody to accept correction. You know, so how would you spot a controlling partner? From the very first start, right? They always put up a facet of, the honeymoon phase to you, to their victims, and they tend to believe that this is but the reality. But as time goes on, the dynamics of the relationship changes over time. And then you who is being victimized will always feel like, I think we'll go back to normalcy sometime in the future. It's just a phase. But it doesn't, So the longer you stay hoping that things will change for the better, you end up being entangled, and that will hardly change. Some people call it red flags that you have to look at for these signs to be able to know that this person is controlling and this, that. But people undergo crisis sometimes, but it's again bad because if I am not feeling too good to talk, I tell my woman, please, babe, I'm not in the best space. She either look for one ways to help me out, feel good, or give me time to cool off and then come back to her. But it is always a good practice to keep somebody updated that look, I don't really feel as talking. And if they are respectful enough, if they are responsible enough, if they are not insecure, they will give you the space to cool off or sort out yourself. And if you are ready enough to talk, we can sit at the same level to talk. Keep in mind, there is one other thing called um, energy level. Sometimes it goes right up. It's like, hey, this man is so energetic. He's right over the ceiling. And sometimes it drops. It is also a problem of mood swing, which people who are experts in the mental health department can talk more about that. It is also some kind of sickness. We cannot deny that. This is why I say a lot of us are sick, but we are scared to face the truth, to come out and talk about our health problems. So those points that you have to look out for when dealing with a controlling person has to be number one, financial abuse. Financial abuse, a lot of us always feel like, hey, he does everything to me, he does everything for me financially, he's always, available and stuff. There is people who always do not sleep when it comes to exit plans. If you live a life where you are solely dependent to someone financially, you do not have options to escape, no escape route out of, then they have the audacity to treat you. They want to treat you without questions. And this is why you see a lot of women, a lot of guys who are dependent, who are dependable on their partners. Like are speechless. They can't say anything. You see your husband with somebody, you know that this guy is like this, that you can't talk because you are scared to stay hungry. That's a trap. I give you everything. What do you need? Take it or leave it. A lot of people are out there looking for, for food, for bread. A lot of people are looking up to being in your position, look, looking at being where you are, and you are here making noise. You end up staying quiet. That's financial abuse because you think you put food on my table, you help me out, gives me no room to talk. You can do whatever. Second point would be constant criticism. There is just nothing that you do that sits well for them. They always talk about, oh, you don't look good. You are supposed to dress like this. Your friends does this. You are supposed to go out for this. Look, like there is nothing that you put on that they can appreciate. They don't find peace. They don't find joy. They don't find beauty in anything that you do. So you always have to be in constant struggle to prove something to somebody. That's an abuser. Funny that a lot of us don't know. And things like this always lead to low self esteem. So, where is the mutual support, which is the fundamental of every genuine relationship? I'm still on the question part. I'm not, saying what I'm not justifying some of these things. I'm still asking questions so that you too can sit in your quiet space and ask yourself, assess your relationship if your friendship with somebody is actually the best, if it is adding up, if it is really helping you become your true self. Because in the end of the day, you want somebody because you love them. You also want this person because you two can team up and do something good for your generations to come. And you don't want to live with somebody that you're always asking questions, your head is bothering, your head is always cooking, you are stressed up. No. If you find yourself a right person, man, you will glow. You will glow. You will glow. I'm telling you. A friend of mine just got married, and if you see his woman now, I can't say girlfriend anymore, man. That sister glows like, hey, I said, bro, you're doing something nice here. Marriage is good. You see it, you see it. It's not something that is always going to stay good all days. There are rainy days, but again, we wait for the sun to come happily. And if you are not in a relationship that is so transparent, is free of this kind of judgments, you cannot survive it. It ends up in splits. Manipulation. People would come to you with some kind of nonsense. When you question them, a controlling person will always employ emotional manipulation, such as guilt tripping, gaslighting to get their way. You've seen them and you know them. We've all seen them. We live with such people. So this should not be like who it's not about gender. It's not about gender. It's about you being accountable to or accountable for. It's about accepting the truth and working on yourself, improving on yourself. There is just no way somebody's going to approach you without you lighting up like that. Just want to dish out. You just want to throw things under the carpet in your own favor. That is negative. That is abusive. Possessiveness. You can own yours. He owns you, and he makes decision for you. He tells you where to go, at what time, where to be, and who, and all those things. That's a controlling partner. I'm sorry. That's not love. There must be freedom. There must be air that blows in and out, that blows through. If you do not have the freedom to sit out with your friends without you panicking as to he shouldn't get home before you, then you're in bondage. Trust me. Resistance to boundaries is another point. We have set boundaries. We have values and principles that's been guiding us from, when we were born. Our parents actually handwired some of these things into us, you know, from parenting and all whatnot. Values. Our mothers even breastfeeded some into us through breast milk. While breastfeeding you, they keep talking, prophesying, enchanting, singing this song. It's a spiritual thing. And then you grew up with this, and then you meet a man or you meet a sister, and then you're like, you two choose to be together and say, hey, these are my principles, these are my guiding principles. Let us see how we can put these two together, where we can meet, because there are some things that I have to let go, meeting somebody that I love. There are some things that we have to find a way to go around because of love, because you really want to spend time with this person. But somebody keeps violating you. Somebody keeps taking advantage. Yours is not right, mine is right. This is how you do it here. This is how I was brought up. My parent, look, that's an abuse. You do not have respect for somebody's own guiding principles, and then you call it love. To me, it's not. It's not. No, not. Isolation is another point. There are some brothers who do not have friends because of their spouses. There are some sisters who do not have friends because of their husbands. You feel like you're in prison. Even your families cannot even call or visit you because of because of your husband or your wife. What is that? And you are sitting comfortably as though everything is fine. No, everything is not fine. African people would say, if you get married to a woman, you get married to the entire family. For those who want to believe in the way you do things, will either respect it or leave it. I am one of those people who have my own principles, and I always say, hey, I love my woman, I love her family, I want to be part of them, and they have to be part of us too. So we have agreed to live like that. But again, it does not mean that we do not have differences, because their own, system, like belief, is different from ours. But we always find a way to go along. So you cannot get married to somebody and you remove that person totally from his or her own family and plant them in your own house or in your own family and become just part of yours. No, it wouldn't work like that. If you get married to a woman, you get married to the entire family. If you get married to a man, you get married to the entire family. You can only throw some of her friends because you've seen that they have a negative impact on your wife or on your children. Some people say, hey, babe, if you don't want to keep out of this kind of friendship, please spend time with them outside of my house and leave my house alone for my children. People have that kind of agreement, but you cannot single handedly isolate a man or a woman. Keep this person just to yourself. That is toxic. That is you being controlling. You dictate the pant that he or she has to wear today, how he or she has to. You can only propose when it comes to these things, these physical things. Hey, babe, I saw this and I think you should try it on. I bought this for you. I was just walking down the street and then I saw this. I just feel like, hey, it's going to look good on you. Try it, just try it and let me see. You sit there looking at her putting on that thing and you're seeing all this beauty, this curves. You enjoy it. And then she can like, hey babe, thank you. She'll learn to accept some of those things as time goes on. But you don't just dictate from day one to say, oh, you have to dress like this, you have to make your hair like this. You be careful. The other part will be jealousy. Jealousy. Personally speaking, I'm that kind of man that I wouldn't like to see you put hands on my woman inappropriately. I won't laugh. I won't take that easily. And you don't talk to my woman the way you think you can talk to my woman. There's a man here. Respect that. So you have to protect her. Like Daddy Victor, thank you so much for your counseling and guidance sometimes. I really appreciate. You have to protect her. My dad always tell me, look, protect her, protect her, protect that woman. This is how it has to be. But it doesn't mean you have to be jealous. Everybody is a jealous lover. But again, jealous lover do not mean that you begin to abuse or complain of everything that she does. Oh, guilt talking or how you call it, allegations. as you are cheating, you flirt with this person, you are flirting with this person. No. If you get married to a nice looking man or a nice looking woman, just know that people are always going to stare. But she must know boundaries. And those are the things that we need to sit and talk about. Hey, babe, I don't feel comfortable when you do this, you do that in public. I don't like it when people do this and do that. And then you leave it at that. You don't Lakers. You haven't seen her taking off her pants. You haven't seen him unzipping or unbuckling to call him a cheat. Respect yourself in public. Do not play carelessly. Do not laugh carelessly simply because shit is funny and you make yourself look less before your partner. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a thing, but it doesn't mean you have to point fingers if you see your woman laughs with somebody in a public, in a party, in an event. People do, that is what they call networking. And if you limit your woman just to your space, you might limit. If it's a business partner, it's a business person, you would never know. If it's an old high school friend that just went for too long, over 10 years, they haven't seen that kind of hug, that kind of embrace, you never know. But nothing is happening. So you can't just say she's sleeping with people or she's cheating on you or she's flirting and stuff. We should be mature enough. We should be careful with the way we go about, pointing fingers or laying allegation on each other. And if somebody does that always, that person it's a controlling freak, as my mom call it. I'm sorry, but we really have to look at things carefully. So actually, those are the points that I actually wanted to share with us today when it comes to controlling partner, and I hope that it helps. Do not forget to touch that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Until we see again. Ciao.